Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Unpopular Opinions. Today I'm cosplaying Psychic Samira. Uh, Thumbs up if you understand the reference. So, today I want to talk about another topic that I find incredibly interesting and actually fascinating. I want to talk about breakups because this is something that. Fuck. So, I want to talk about breakups, and I think this is a very, very relatable thing that we all have been through, even if we have only been on one end. But I'm sure most of us have experienced both. So, breakups are incredibly painful and scary. And of course, ideally, we don't want to ever go through this. We want to just meet the perfect person very early in our life and just end up together forever. But also, the relationship has to be perfect. And also, we don't have to work on it. So, this is the ideal picture. And well, unfortunately, in reality, it doesn't happen this way. So we have to try and we have to fail, and this is incredibly painful, but I don't really see it as just purely a negative experience, even though it really feels like pretty much the worst thing that can ever happen, except for a couple other things that might be a little bit worse. So I think that we should start looking at breakups more positively, because if I look back on all the relationships that haven't worked out for me and for the other people involved, I would say that somehow breakups became the catalysts of my personal growth. Have you ever heard of boyfriend personality disorder? Well, it's like when a girl just basically adopts the personality of her boyfriend. And it is unfortunately incredibly common. So I would say that I might have done that in my life. Not on purpose, of course. But I really have learned a lot about the world and myself through dating other people and through going through breakups with them. I learned so much. I cannot possibly imagine any other scenario in which I would face all these things about the world and about myself. So eventually, after the pain is gone, which can take an incredibly long time sometimes, you actually get to see that. Well, I really became a better person. I really became stronger. I really became cooler. And I really don't want this person in my life, not in that role for sure. Even though I think it is possible to stay friends with your exes, but it just involves a lot of emotional maturity and other things. So I want to destigmatize breakups, and I do believe if they happen, then they have to happen. Very often we really are not meant to end up with this person. And sometimes I really believe that it does happen. It's not very common, but it does happen that people break up to, like to work on themselves, to explore the world, to explore themselves more, to only end up together again later on in life. And I think this is like one of the most fascinating scenarios, because it's like you basically meet your person relatively early on in life. It doesn't work out. It doesn't work out with other people as well. So you think, okay, like it's done, it's done, it's over. It's over with them, with them, and it's over with everybody. And yet somehow then you find yourself reunited with one of these people from your past, and it's just a completely different relationship. It's a completely different experience. And you both had to go through that heartbreak. You both had to go through more experiences separately to only find yourself together. This is this happens. It's really uncommon, but it happens. And when it happens, it's just you would not want to go back to your first relationship. You would just appreciate your first breakup so fucking much if you end up being more mature and more, like self-sufficient, happy people coming together in a completely different way. So, I think breakups are amazing. I think breakups are the worst. And these two things can coexist all at once. So I had a breakup that also happened during an extremely, extremely challenging time in my life outside that relationship. And I had been through so much pain. I could not even imagine that it could hurt that much. It really felt like, in general, that relationship was challenging my beliefs about everything, including myself, so, 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 so much. And then the breakup, it kind of felt like it ruined me. It took me quite a long time to get over it because it also happened during the pandemic. I was literally stuck in my parents' living room during the pandemic, and I was going through psychological separation with them while literally being stuck in their living room. I was going through the breakup in that living room while working, eating, sleeping there, doing it. I was just stuck in that small room with all the feelings, with all the things going on, and it was incredibly, incredibly hard and incredibly painful. And of course, I would never ever want to go through something like this again, and I definitely would not recommend it to anybody else. Not that anybody would want to have this much pain, but I think because of that intensity, I caught up on so much personal growth that somehow was not happening due to many different reasons. I matured so much. I realized so many unpleasant truths about myself. I have faced so many of my demons that eventually, when the pain was gone, I just had so much gratitude for that experience. I could never imagine I would experience that, but I did, and I still do. Because it felt like I was living that version of myself that I was not really happy about, but I could not really understand it, realize it, and do that much about it. While in relationship, you get mirrored by your partner so much, you get triggered by them more than by anyone ever. It's just impossible to be triggered by anyone else like that. And you get to learn so, so, so much, not just about yourself, and that you actually might not be the easiest and best person. You might not be as good as you think you are, but also you get to learn which of the things you are not willing to tolerate in other people as well. You learn so much more about what your standards are instead of just being conditioned by your upbringing and your culture, for example. You get to know which things you really appreciate and value in relationships that goes beyond your, fantasies and imagination, because you can think about a potentially good partner without having much experience dating, but once you get into a real experience, it's often very, very different. And I honestly don't understand why people really hold on so much on staying together forever. But then I realized that, yeah, like, and they have lived happily ever after. But it's bullshit. Some people can do that. It does work for some people. But it's not that your first love is gonna be your last love. Sometimes it happens, but I would say that dating and relationships become a way, 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 way more satisfying and fulfilling experience once you actually get to go through different experiences of it. And it's not about just dating around for the sake of doing that. Not necessarily. Again, there are people who just stay forever and are a really great match. There are people who date two, three people in their life and that's it. There are people who have to go through 20 and more people. It's all very different for all of us. And you just have to find what works for you. Some people seek an incredibly deep connection. Some people can date people without really getting to know them and they don't need that much of a depth. We're all different and it's all right. And I think that I learned so much from every relationship I've been in, and inevitably, all of them ended as breakups, naturally. But with each of them, I discovered a different part of myself. And I would think, okay, after the first one, I know that this is not something I want. And I know that this is something nice that I have experienced. And I know that this is something nice that I haven't experienced. But I would like to experience that with my future partner. You actually, when you think about the future, you don't really project dating multiple people, especially if we talk about monogamy, which if I reflect back on those experiences, that's how I saw the world. By the way, check out my video about polyamory. It's very interesting. I hope you like it, and I hope it can broaden your horizons, even if you are not a polyamorous person yourself. But technically, since the most important relationship in our lives is the relationship with others, and then we fall in love with someone else, it's already two people. So technically, we're all polyamorous in some way. So, yeah, when we project in the future, we kind of hope that the next one is going to be the one. And very often they're not. So it's about the pressure of monogamous dating. Check out the video. Um, but when I look back, I see that with every next relationship, it was uncovering so much more than I could have anticipated and imagined. It would show me parts of myself that I was not aware of. It would show me a different behavior from a partner that could be very, very different from the behavior of the previous one or the previous ones. So I think that falling in love, dating, relationships, is an incredibly interesting experience in our lives, and it's incredibly important because I think it definitely influences us in really big ways, and it can also influence our other relationships with other people that, like, not romantic relationships, and it can push us to overcome some limits that we are not even aware of, because I think you've experienced that, or at least have definitely seen it in the movies, or heard about other people when after a breakup, somebody would just completely like restart their life. They would start working out regularly, maybe at first to overcome the pain and to replace it with muscular pain, and eventually ending up leading a way healthier lifestyle. Or somebody would just actually be so down that at that point in life they would not experience the fear of starting their business or of following a hobby or expressing themselves more, because they just feel that they have nothing left to lose, which is not true. It's an illusion, but it feels that way when a breakup happens, and it actually releases some parts of you that you were holding on and were trying to keep safe, but at that point you feel like Like the world is over, everything is over, I have nothing to lose. And this can push you to really improve your own life and to become your own person and to build a better relationship with yourself. And I think it's beautiful. And if it pushes you, you wanted to travel and you were holding on to some things, you were afraid to do that, your partner was not interested. And since you were too attached, you thought that, well, if I have a partner, I can only travel with them. And if they don't want to, then I have to, ignore my own dream. And then the partner is gone. And you're like, you know what? I really have to focus on myself and do that thing. And you go and you experience those amazing things on your travels. You might meet the love of your life, your soulmate, whatever. And even if you don't, I don't think that seeking a partner should be the main goal of your life. I think it should be a great addition, and I probably think, yeah, I think that it probably is a consequence of a really good, stable, loving relationship with yourself. When you can really, really be a good partner for yourself instead of seeking it in someone else. And, oh, I can do that only when I have a partner. No, just go and do it by yourself. Go do it with your friends. Go travel. Go take up that hobby, whatever. Just go for it and don't wait for somebody else. Because if you wait, you might just end up waiting forever. But once you start doing, you open yourself to more opportunities and you become magnetic and you literally, like you attract energetically something that really resonates with you. So I think breakups should not be seen as something terrible. And even though it hurts, I know how it hurts. Trust me, I know it all too well. Um, if it happens, it probably has to happen. You should definitely try to work on it. Um, but sometimes it doesn't happen, and it's not that every relationship is meant to last. And I think it's important to accept the fact that sometimes things end, but sometimes they end so that better things can start. So I'm gonna leave you with that. So if it resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Please hit the thumb up button, it helps me promote my content. If it did not resonate, please let me know in the comments. I'm making videos in which I talk about my opinions on different subjects. So far, it's been about different kinds of interpersonal relationships. It's parent pleasing, people pleasing, love, friendship, romantic relationships, friend zone part 2, polyamory, and having a crush. I think I need to make a list because there are already quite a lot of them. So check them out if you want to know more of what I think about that. Make sure to let me know what you think. You might disagree with me. I might disagree with me at some point as well, because opinions are important, but sometimes they can shift, and that's all right. So have a lovely part of the day you're watching it, and I will see you in the next episodes. Bye.